Hello, manifestors. Let's talk about a topic that is not talked about a whole lot, even in the manifesting community. And the topic is logic and the law. Logic and the law have pretty much nothing in common. So let's talk about this today because many of you are mixing your logic, your human, your ego logic, and the law, which is a spiritual law. That's why there is a problem here. So let's talk about this today. Please subscribe to my channel if you are new here. Like the video, share the video, comment. All those things will help my channel to grow and help people be more aware of the law of assumption and how we manifest all the desires that we have in our life. My name is Sylviane. I am a manifesting coach. I do one-on-one coaching and email coaching. I have a podcast based on the law of assumption, the teaching of Neville Goddard, every Tuesday on all the podcast platforms. I also have a blog every Thursday. And I have a free Facebook group. It's a private group, but it's free, and a VIP paid group where I do a Q&A live every Wednesday. And Andreza, who is a wonderful coach in my team, is creating knockout challenges to improve your manifesting skills. And all the links are down below this video in the description box. So guys, should you mix your human logic with the law? Well, in a word, no. You should not mix your human logic with the law. When you want to manifest a desire, the less you use your logic, your 3D world logic, the better you will be. Why? Because the law is a spiritual law. See, as human beings, we have a human body. We have a solid physical body, if we want to call it like that, solid. But we also have a spiritual body. We are not just physical, we are also spiritual. And it is true that some people, when you look at them, you definitely see way more the physical being than the spiritual one. Why? Because spirituality, it's something that if it's not maintained, if it's not worked on, it's kind of lost in this 3D world, because this 3D world being what it is, we are easily losing our spiritual self to our physical self. But we can will more spirituality in our lives. And usually people who are more spiritual, it's because they have worked on it. It's because they are somehow more in tune to their spirituality than other people. But if you are in the manifesting community and you learn about manifesting your desires, the more spiritual you are, the more you understand that this law is a spiritual law, the faster you will make progress, the faster you will improve, and the faster you will become master manifestors. So what happens when you are mixing the logic with the law? Well, let's say you want to manifest a specific person, and you visualize, you intend that you are already with that person. But then you start thinking, how is this going to happen? How this, how that, and how the other. This is called messing with the middle. And messing with the middle comes from your logic, from your logical mind, which is usually not the spiritual mind at all. So on one hand, you are doing something that is completely spiritual, because you are imagining something that you want to create in your 3D world. And as Neville said many, many, many times, God is in your wonderful human imagination. So you are using your spiritual self, your God self, to create an image, to create an end result that you want to manifest in the 3D. But then you mix logic with that. And your logic says, well, but how in the world this is going to happen? And what are you going to need to do for this to happen? And how in the world do you think by doing this that is going to happen? So when you start mixing your logical mind, your logical brain, your non-spiritual mind and brain to a spiritual thing, which is imagining your end result, whether it's a person, money, healing from a terrible disease, whatever it is, you are using your spiritual force, your imagination, your God self, no matter what you want to call it. You are using that spiritual force to manifest in your external world what you want. But then you are mixing the logic of this world. And the logic of this world is really only an illusion. What appears to be logic when you see it, it's actually not so logic. It was created in your mind, or it was created in the mind of other people. And that's what is forming this world as we see it. And then it appears to be logic when really it is not. It has been created in the human mind. I have a very specific negative experience of mine, negative manifestation. Years ago, when I was living in North Carolina in the United States, I was at that time in a very, very dark place. So I was in a very pitiful state as a whole. And my boyfriend back then had wrecked my car. So my car was in the garage to be repaired, and I had a good insurance, thank goodness. So I was in a rental that was provided by my car insurance. And as I am picking up that rental from the place they gave it to me to my house, I have all of a sudden a lot of anxiety coming out of me. And I'm sitting at a red light thinking, oh my God, how bad would it be if I had an accident right now with the rental car? How bad would that be? Well, maybe 20 seconds later, my wish was fulfilled. I had two turns to make, a right turn and a left turn. There was no speed involved whatsoever. And as I was going to make my left turn, I'm looking at the oncoming traffic. This is a small street. There is barely any traffic. So I'm stopped. My car is not even moving. I'm looking ahead of me. I see no car, so I proceed to make my left turn, and I hear a boom. And I remember seeing a white car, like a white shadow of a car that I had just bumped into. And I remember telling to myself, wow, this is a dream. I am going to wake up anytime now. But I did not wake up. It was real. It seemed like a real thing, right? Then the police came, and I remember the cop didn't even understand how in the world I could have bumped into that car, because they are so used to that. They can tell how fast you're going when you hit another car. And he even asked me, he said, were you going like 20 miles an hour? I said, yes, maybe less than that. I was about to make a turn. I was pretty much not moving. So I remember that the policeman was even puzzled. How in the world, while I was not under the influence, while I was going pretty much the speed of a snail, I could have bumped into that car. They were puzzled. But as far as the 3D is concerned, it was a real accident. It seemed real as far as the logical mind goes. But I had manifested this accident. So I had created this car that was not even there, out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, just so my wish could be fulfilled. Because I had the thought, and that thought invaded me completely. I felt the end of having an accident. Therefore, since I was already in a car, it was very easy, very fast for my God self to bring that accident into my life. And it did. That's why you may have heard your desire will always come the fastest way possible. That's how the law works. Your desire, as long as you do not put doubts and resistance in the middle between you and your desire, it will always come to you the fastest way possible. So this is why you should never mix logic with manifesting your desire. Why did I take this example? Because logically, because I'm not blind and not crazy and I wasn't drunk or under any type of drugs, I knew, okay? I knew there was no oncoming traffic when I proceeded to make my left turn. But then there it was. Somehow, my living in the end scene was so clear, so powerful, because I had zero resistance, right? I was really in it, really messed up to the max, imagining an accident. I created that car. And then that car seemed logically to be existing in there, in the 3D, even with a person driving it and then being all mad at me, asking me, "You did not see me?" And I say, "Hey lady, if I had seen you, we would not be talking right now." So all manifestations are the same. What seems to be logic, it's only logic because you've created it in your mind, in your spiritual mind, and then it appeared to be logic. But when you mess up with your logic, trying to explain to yourself how this and that is going to happen and how impossible it seems to be, then you are preventing your manifestation to come to you faster than you are making it happen by being doubtful and messing up with your logical mind. When you are a conscious manifester, you need to understand that everything comes from within. As Neville said, nothing comes from without. All things come from within, from the subconscious. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your action follows. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. For life makes no mistakes and always gives man that which man first gives himself. So guys, I hope this video was helpful to understand that using your logical mind and using the law of assumption, which is a spiritual law, to manifest your desire, it's not a very good match, because at the base we are spiritual beings and we are using our spiritual imagination, our God-given imagination, to create the external world that we want to experience. Thank you for listening, guys. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up so more people like you can see this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Comment and share the video if you can. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.